Hi, I'm Yappo, and with me today is Moleboy,
Hey guys.
and he's going to talk about his team a little bit since I am not actually playing.
Well, it started out pretty well. Overall, I definitely have built up the lizards a lot since the last time I played hexachord, but he also has built up his Skaven a lot more, which, considering the gutter runners, is somewhat more problematic. By this game, I've got all but two of my sources with block and a mix of diving tackle and a few other things on the skinks. And the Fancy Rat squad is at 1500. It should have actually been higher, but he lost, I think, 120 team value because one of his gutter runners is out for this game. So that was definitely a happy thing for me. And we come to the beginning. I go for the tails, don't get it, and kind of make a mistake in that for some reason I think that I am going to be kicking. This leads to a somewhat problematic choice in that I decide to place my non-block sources on my line.
This is why you always have the dice log open.
Yeah.
Also, I see you went for another wizard this game.
Yeah, well, it worked out really well in our game. I mean, and overall I figured with the movement on the gutter runners, being able to just knock one would definitely be an advantage.
Also, interesting note, Hexachord's rat team here has 3 spare linemen on it, which is a lot for this early in a league, I feel like.
It is, but at the same time you gotta figure that line rats especially like to get killed. They're pretty much as close to SP fodder as you can get without being stunty.
That's true, but that's still a lot of linemen. Oh dear.
It is, and it did feel like a lot of... Yeah, so to start out with, I lose a block sore, but I can deal with that with a badly hurt Lino.
I also noticed you put the risk of putting your Sauruses within 2 spaces of the sideline with a rat ogre there.
I did, but at the same time, it's not as much of a problem with... Yeah, and that's right immediately where I pay for it, as much as I'm getting really lucky on injury rolls for my first 2 punches.
So what, that's 2 injuries and a KO now for the rats?
Yeah. So overall his three line rats are looking like a pretty good bargain, considering he's already down 2.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, AV7 and all, but still.
And I mean, part of it is just the fact, part of the reason that I did want to put at least something there is I put at least the skinks 2 away, just because diving tackle, I didn't want gunner runners just running down the sidelines and getting thrown to. But now I'm in a really dicey situation because at least 2 of those gutter runners are in range of just running up and grabbing the ball.
Yeah, that number 5 there can just do it.
And it's worth noting that he still has his 3 strength gutter runner, which is as close to an abomination as you can get.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit. All it needs now is plus agility leap and horns.
Yeah, well, that'll be even better, but overall at this point, I figure I've got an okay chance of maybe being able to get to the ball, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong with the skinks, but I am worrying about the fact that he really has a couple spots he can go where he doesn't really have to dodge into more than like a tackle zone, or no tackle zone in this case, and be able to make it to the ball. Number 5 can go straight in with just a dodge and pretty much have no problems.
Yep, there he goes. I hate gutter runners. Forever.
Yeah, I mean, frustrating as heck, but I mean, they're pretty much the SPP sponge on the Skaven team, and then all the line rats die.
At least, is that number 4 source there within blitzing range?
Yeah, if I can get him free. I mean, you got the... Oh, and right before the game, he did doubles on his rat ogre, so that rat ogre has block.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
Yeah, which was a little frustrating.
Rat ogres are probably the best big guy.
I still think mummies. I actually really like the Croxagore because I prefer thick skull to wild animal.
Yeah, but like you can get mutation. I guess maybe Minotaurs, but Rat Ogres are just really, really good.
They are. Now here is me having to spend 3 skinks because of the 3 strength gutter runner, which was frustrating as heck.
Oh
Not
my.
paying off, and deciding to just say screw it.
Wow. This is so many casualties.
Yeah,
And he's...
this is a bloody, bloody game.
Alright, and so
Unfortunately, I'm screwed because it just bounced next to a gutter runner who's going to pick it up and run to the end zone, but...
for those watching, the Apothecary for a badly hurt there is considered to be like one of the pro strategies in games that you really have to win for your good players. Because if you use the Apothecary, you can pick badly hurt no matter what happens, and then they come back and play again. So he ensures that his extra strength gunner runner will be back next drive, because that's a really good player.
Yeah, honestly, he can't afford to lose the +3 strength gutter runner. It's probably his best gunner, even though it's got less skills than some of the others, because 3 strength on a gutter runner just means that any 3 strength team has to devote 2 guys to a single gutter runner.
Or you have to put
Whereas,
3 skinks on him.
Yeah, 3 skinks. I mean, the fact that I can't even 1-die block if I'm forced to with a skink.
And he can grab that ball and get a touchdown without even making a going for it, can't he?
Yep, without even having to make a dodge.
Oh well, you've been thinning his numbers, and you'll get to punch him again.
Yeah, but here we go. And that is really bad for me because the last thing you want to do is give a really early score to a Skaven and then know you're kicking off to him for the half. So both guys stay KO'd. Definitely more of a disadvantage for me because his is Lino and I'm losing a Soar.
And he's got a replacement. He's back at full strength. Yeah, this is not looking super hopeful, especially since you've used 2 rerolls and he has 4 still.
He hasn't blown any, I've blown 2, and both the times I rerolled decided to F me over. Now, it could be partially the fact that I'm, how to best describe it, making bad blocks at this point, but they were blocks I had to make. I mean, it's that whole thing we've talked about in the thread. You go from a 2.78 chance of failure to about an 11% chance of failure if you do not have block when you throw punch.
It's actually exactly 4 times more likely to fail a 2-dice block without block than one with. That helps a little bit.
Yeah, getting the extra reroll back was nice. I mean, I'm worrying here about whether my skinks are going to be able to even pick up the ball.
So you're setting up to punch the Rat Ogre here.
Yeah, I got the 5 and the 5, so doing it that way seems to make sense to me. It's the same reason I have 1 follow. I get another KO.
So many casualties and armor breaks.
And I'm kind of waiting to punch with the Croxagore just because
big guys.
With how my block dice have been going, I just really don't want to waste it.
Yeah, big guys. That's all that has to be said. When do you stop breaking armor on every single block? Like, serious
I don't
question.
know. I mean, this game is interesting in the fact that I am really, really punching.
Like, I mean, AB7 should break 42...
Now, here's the downside of the pro strat.
Holy shit. Oh my god, you just killed a block Rat Ogre. Yeah, that's the downside. Right there. Alright, this game just kind of turned around for you.
It definitely helps. It also helps that I've got the 9MA skink is a huge advantage so far. I would kill to get plus agility on him and basically turn him into a gunner with stunty.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That is... Yeah, he's basically a gunner runner now, except stunty is amazing for dodging.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, like, honestly, if I could get 4 agility on a skink, which my Goon Bowl, or my Giant Goon League skink is 4 agility, you basically can run through any number of tackle zones on a 2+. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's a kind of lopsided cage there, but...
But if you notice, I offset the skinks by 1, so even if he tries to blitz through the skinks, it's just going to knock it closer. They won't be able to stand next to him.
Yeah, and The 3 strengths gutter has strip ball too, which I don't know that we've seen before. It allows you to, on a push, pull the ball out of the player's hands. So he has an extra 2 block dice that he can use to get the ball free if he blitzes with him.
Yeah, and I believe Sure Hands keeps the strip ball from working if you give it to a player.
Yes, sure hands cancel strip ball.
And at least Hex tried to keep a sense of humor for the fact that he rolled doubles on that ragged ogre 5 minutes before the game, and now it's dead.
I noticed at the start of the game he was talking to me directly. He was like, "See, this is what could have happened. All of your armor would have been broken."
Well, I did a pretty good job in our game of breaking armor too. The lizards are just punchy.
I can't believe that you broke Hornless Concussed Beastman's other ankle.
I do feel slightly proud of that it was both of them.
This is so exciting. I haven't watched a game in a long time where I didn't know the outcome.
Yeah. The only downside I feel here is I really wish I could get the Crocs next to a couple of these guys, but Prehensile Tail is not nearly as good against 4 agility as it is against 3. That's where it really shines.
You just blitz with him. Can't go wrong.
You say that now.
Yay, block. Oh look, another armor break. What a twist.
Yeah, this is slightly unlucky for hexachord at this point. But I think part of it is just the fact that because of the strength advantage, you get to throw a lot of blocks with lizards in general.
Yeah, armor value 7 snowballs really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have Mighty Blow except on the Crocs, and as we've talked, I don't know if it's been talked about in the videos, but Mighty Blow on AV7, I believe, gives
58%.
40% more chance. Is it 20% more? I think it's pretty sizable.
16%. It goes from 42 to like 58% chance of armor break.
Just because the 7 can now break AV7.
Right. Mighty Blow gives you +1 to armor or injury, so it's a good skill for hitting players.
And now you're seeing the true advantage of the lizards is that they have a lot of plus strength guys, but they also have a lot of movement.
Yeah, lizards are really fast for 4 strength.
It's the trade-off you get for the fact that they can be seriously destroyed if things go wrong. I mean,
and that
you're highly dependent on your sources, and your skinks are so fragile that you lose them and you're in trouble. I mean, right now, Furl and Goonbull, I think, lost, at least one Saurus already, which really, really hurts. They're not a cheap positional. Even the skinks aren't cheap. I mean, skinks are 60,000, and
yeah, skinks are as much as like a Beastman on Chaos. Skinks are really expensive, but they are probably the best stunty.
Close to. I mean, they've got. I mean, you look at the other stunties, and most of the other stunties are kind of jokes. I mean, skinks are the only like stunty positional that's actually worth anything.
It's true.
I mean, you got. I mean, maybe the Pogo are on the goblins, but the rest of the goblin team is such a joke anyway that
goblins are amazing.
It's hard to really say.
Don't hate on the goblins.
Well, it feels good when you make 2 leaps with an Agi 3 because you got very long legs and score from out of nowhere.
Alright, so this is looking a lot better.
It is, and here I'm stuck with the problem of how long I want to really sit, because if I score fairly early, this is definitely giving hexachord a chance to get a 2-1 game even before he receives in the second half.
Yeah, but the flip side is if most of his KOs stay out, you got a serious man advantage.
Which is definitely what I'm hoping for. I mean, at this point, I know he's only got a couple guys more on the field. I'll get at least another turn of punching them, because if you look at the field right now, he doesn't really have any chance to get to that skink. I mean, he's not going to hit my ball carrier this turn. It would be highly doubtful he could even throw a decent block against a Saurus.
And you're almost to the point of the other win condition against Skaven, where you make them have to put their positionals on the line so you can just punch the shit out of them.
Which is definitely what I'm hoping for. Like, I mean, even the vermin on the line would be awesome because it means they're not running up and blocking my skinks, choosing block and knocking them down.
Yeah, gutter runners are probably the single best unit in the game at scoring touchdowns.
In LE, I mean, there is some argument that bull centaurs are even worse, just because they're strength 4 that can actually carry the ball and have sprint.
But I mean, gutter runners are one of the best players in the game. Like,
Well, they are. I mean, they are the cornerstone of the Skaven team. I mean, yeah, your storm vermin are okay, but I mean, gunners are what you're using.
and so the goal is basically against Skaven is that you try and punch the line rats as hard as you can because you're never going to catch gutter runners to punch them most of the time, and make them put gutter runners on the line of scrimmage or other really valuable players.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even the thrower is kind of nominal. The gunners are what need to be dead if you're going to do anything, which is, as you noticed, I mean, he had the ball, obviously, but I spent a lot of time trying to keep pressure on his +3 agility. Interestingly enough, he failed without me diving tackled. So I found that a little interesting.
Well, that was a 3+ dodge, so
Yeah.
I mean, not the best. And now punch the shit out of those line rats.
Pretty much how this works. And after the first turn snafu, I'm being very careful about using block swords.
That's good. And this is just ridiculous.
Yeah. This gets bigger. This is just...
Are you gonna gang foul that gunner too?
I'm actually not. I'm sitting him there because he's the only guy who conceivably can even get close to the ball carrier if I move him. And I'd rather have the prehensile tail there to slow him up. And another armor break.
That one's even AV8. Like, how are you doing this?
I don't know if Nuffle just loved me for this, but just as Nuffle gives, he takes away, so I'm sure something will happen to me eventually.
This is just unheard of. Like, Skaven get punched really hard, but come on.
Yeah, no. I mean, my lizards are just... I mean, I don't even have Mighty Blow Up, which I would understand it more if I at least had that, but... Because there's another one for a stun.
Like, I just don't even know what to say anymore. Like, the odds are just so far out there on this one.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty damn good at this point. I'm not going to score this turn. I'd rather give him, 2 turns rather than 3. Or I guess 3 instead of 4 in this case. So, I mean, at this point, I know he's going to have to basically stall.
Yeah, 2 turns are super dangerous.
And especially in this case, like, I mean, I could foul like a gunner, but it's like I really don't want to risk losing a skink. I don't have any extras.
Yeah, it's not worth it at this point.
I had money to buy an extra skink, but I took an MNG on a Saurus, which is why you'll see Deca Mark II instead of Deca. I had to retire him because I did not want to go into this game against the rats a Saurus down. Deca didn't have any skill ups anyway, so I kicked him and rehired right before the game.
Yeah, MNGs are normally completely not a thing, but since it's a final, like, everything changes in leagues. It's kind of...
Well, and it's the final, so it's like it's worth doing that. And then combined with that is like I knew I wasn't going to be putting in any petty cash anyway because it just would have changed up my like it basically is just adding to my DV where I'm already getting inducements, so it's almost counterproductive. So there you saw him almost get a POW, but since it was a 2-die against, he re-rolls it. Basically doesn't do anything to my skink. He has enough re-rolls that I can kind of understand it. I mean, at this point, he can't use all his re-rolls by the end of the half.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 re-rolls on... I mean, you got a re-roll on both kickoff events. So, I like, too, that you keep panning over to the casualty box to show off the dead rat ogre.
It's more me just double-checking, like, what's out and how much he's got there, because I'm also double-checking if he's got anything on the sidelines. But also feeling a little proud of myself. I mean...
Oh, look, it's another armor break. What a shot.
Yeah, these just never happen anymore, apparently.
This is... What are you doing? I
think it's something to do with setting up to pressure the gunner, but then not really wanting to do it in a way that'll just let him 3DB. And then I just decided to score. I think there's enough guys down, and I'm kind of thinking I can get my block sword back. and he'll still be guys down, and just work on that.
Yeah.
So as you see, my block sword doesn't come back. All 5 KOs wake up.
Yeah, but you've already got him down to 10 players, including the best player, or probably the only player on his team that's an actual threat to you.
Well, the Rat Ogre is like kind of a threat, but even then it's not as much. I mean, I've got AV9 on all my swords, so unless the Rat Ogre's somehow blitzing over to hit a skink,
Yeah, but
not as much of an issue.
Frenzy and block.
That's true.
Frenzy is amazing, and you need Frenzy swords as soon as possible.
It's under there. I'm kind of debating a little bit of break tackle just so I can be a little bit more mobile. So they can't just do the, oh, I've got one guy on you, so your source is basically stuck.
Yeah, but then you get to punch.
Oh, see,
Yeah, there you go.
that's pretty much what I was, and why I didn't do it is it would have been a 1D block, and I would have had to GFI to do it. So, definitely wasn't going to take the chance. I probably could have stalled an extra turn, but I figure at this point he doesn't have too many turns. The gunners are dangerous, but yeah, they are down people.
He doesn't even hardly have enough people to cage the gunners, so. And you're set up deep enough, he's going to have to either put his cage just behind the line, which he won't be able to punch, or just risk it.
Yeah, this is definitely a better kickoff game than my Goon Bowl game. Like last game, I somehow kicked it 1 square away from him every time, and the other guy, it was why am I spacing on who I played? But he kicked it into the end zone every single time. And since I'm not playing lizards, it was a lot more of a pain in the ass. But in this case, the ball flops work relatively well, though his storm vermin are getting very lucky on my skinks. But I can't really say much with the damage I keep causing to him.
That's not even the Mighty Blow Storm Vermin. He's got one with Mighty Blow and one with Tackle.
Which, interestingly enough, the tackle is not too much of an issue this game, which I'm kind of surprised about.
Well, Sud's got Tackle on his first game with it. He, I think, threw 5 or 6 blocks, and only one of them Tackle helped.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved tackle with my game of Amazons, because that was the game where I did nothing but push. But I mean, we're not a really dodge-heavy league at this point. It'll be interesting to see who comes in.
Yeah, I'm still not sure who we're bringing in. I'm thinking probably Chaos, probably Works, probably one of the stunty gimmick teams, if not more than one, because I love playing them. And I don't know, we'll get it figured. I kind of want to bring in Wood Elves, but only if they have a tree.
Wood Elves are definitely fun, though War Dancers are probably, I don't know, it's a tie between War Dancers and Gunners for best out of the box positional.
War Dancers come with block, dodge, and leap out of the box.
Yeah, and I mean, at least they don't have very long leg access. That's like a small bonus, but the first thing you're going to most people put on them is like strip ball, and they're probably the best cage breakers in the game.
They're pretty ridiculous. And this is a fairly normal Skaven strategy. I think we saw this the last time we saw the Skaven, is that your thrower is good enough that you can run him away so no one can get a block to him. Elves do it too. So he's safe back there, and then we'll set up his play down the pitch to one of his gunners.
Yeah, definitely try to set up the throw to the handoff. And I believe number 3 right there is probably within touchdown distance, just without GFIs.
Yep, he is. Because it's 13 squares to the end zone, and he's 4 down. And they are 9 movement. Oh, you didn't break armor that time.
I know, it was shocking. It's me lamenting the fact that my KO from the kick is... Oh, now this complicates things, because I was really hoping to punch the other guy away and get that Saurus free. Because I really don't want to, just leave gunners standing, to be honest, much less anything else.
I find it kind of weird that you keep blitzing the gunners
Because my skinks are murder.
without
As much
black.
as I know I should not be doing that, but if I remember correctly, the guy on the side that could have made it there was also
I,
is a non-blocker,
I
and I really didn't want to risk that either.
believe one of your skinks actually negative 3 dB powered Rob Halford in our game as well.
If he did, that was epic. I don't, I find it unlikely, and I don't remember it just because I don't mind a 2 dB, but I really am careful about trying to throw negative threes.
Um,
But you know,
I'm pretty sure you did just because you were standing next to the sideline and we're like, screw it, we doing this thing.
that would be a possibility.
And I was very upset.
One of those things where you're like, come on!
Because he's the worst Ulf Warner ever. He failed a 3 dice block with reroll that game against a skink too. Because Ulf Warners.
Yeah, well, and I think it's the thing with Norse I find is you get a little bit. You're so used to block that sometimes you'll get a little dumb with the Ulfs.
Well, it's not even that. It's since they don't have block, you're like, I shouldn't block with them in this really important block because they don't have block, and so they never get casualty SPP, and they don't ever carry the ball because they're 2 agility, and everyone else on your team has 3.
It's true. I mean, they do have the advantage that at least they have general access, so 1 level and they get really solid at punching.
That's true, but it's just kind of they're not my favorite. Unskilled Ulfs are the bane of most new Norse players' existence.
Really, I would have thought that the Berserkers would get you into more trouble just because they're 3D or 3 strength frenzy, so it's like you can get yourself into a lot more dumb situations.
The thing is, block helps a lot. Like, I've talked about it in the thread before, and people didn't believe me at first, but the odds on a negative 2 dice block really aren't as bad as you would think with block. Whereas, if you don't have block, I mean, it's
That's
a whole
true, because
nother...
I mean, you still have to roll the 2.78 on a 2 against to, I mean, because it's still the same roll even if the other person's choosing. Though, no, it wouldn't have to be 2.7 because you'd have 3 combinations that would give you a skull, or even more.
There are 15, I think, combinations that give you a skull. At least a skull.
Now here I've covered the gunners well enough that he's forced to pass up to hand off to the storm vermin.
Yeah, what is he? Is he just trying to run away? This is gonna...
It's what it kind of feels like, but I'm not really sure what he's going for here. I mean, it doesn't seem like he really has to throw. I've got 2 guys on his gunner that he can throw to, and I don't, even with 4 agility, there's no nerves of steel. That's still a pretty dicey catch.
Yeah, at this point you could probably just swarm him with skinks.
When it's one of those ones where, like, I'm looking at it and it's like, if he'd really wanted to do this, maybe he should have dodged out number 3 first into the end zone and then tried to get the skink in range.
I don't know, it's kind of weird.
And I'm not quite sure what that one was for either. Maybe just trying to open up a hole, but...
Well, that's the closest skink, and that one's got sidestep and diving tackle, doesn't it?
I think so. Most of my skinks do. I think my 9MA skink doesn't have diving tackle, and one guy has sidestep, but I think he also has DT. Like, well, I can't remember what I have on all my skinks right now.
If he knocks that one down, he can follow up and then run over and throw up a screen with the gunner.
That's very true.
I think is probably what he was trying to do there. Because that would be nice and helpful.
And I guess here he was more trying to set him in order to give the assist on my skink.
I think it was mostly just a don't want to dodge away from diving tackle.
Possible. But in that case, he probably would have been better off not following up with number 3.
I don't know at this point. I'm curious to see what you do here. Yay, Crocs is back.
Yeah, the Crocs is one of my favorite positionals. I mean, it's a 6 movement, strength 5.
All right, second doubles. Do you give him? I'll make the. Oh. You give him pro or shadowing second doubles.
Shadowing is very tempting, especially with the prehensile tail, but again, pro is great for almost any big guy. Here, I reroll because I realize that I have more rerolls than's left in the half. I might as well use one.
Yeah, but you haven't blitzed the ball carrier yet. What are you doing?
I think it happens some point in here. Either that or I just hold him. I can't remember.
Yeah, but
It seems weird to me that I didn't either.
You've got a 2 dice block on the ball carrier with a skink right now, which is a pretty good chance with a reroll. And even if he fails, he's still standing next to a Saurus and a skink. And if you get the ball loose, I mean that's pretty much it. Unless it takes a really bad scatter.
I think at this point I'm not risking the blitz. I figure he's only got one more turn to score. And the Storm Vermin should not be diving into tackle zones. And that one is just a F it, and at least he's not on the sideline anymore.
Yeah, but that 3 strength gunner can blitz the Storm Vermin out of that cage now.
It's true. I don't know. I just had the 3 guys on him. I mean, that would be his move, but I don't think he makes it.
Oh god, I'm so nervous. What happens? I don't even know. I hate this. I gotta start winning more games, so I know what happens beforehand.
Well, honestly, I was surprised that I did end up knocking you out. I mean, part of it is definitely the fact that I've got way more block on my swords by the time we had our game, because that's a pretty huge change.
That's definitely, because that's a good way for me to get swords down with Dauntless and stuff. Also, the Croxagore hurt a lot.
Yeah, because it's all AV7, except aren't the Ulfs 8?
Yeah, and
Right.
Yeti's 8. And
But that's...
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that's kind of the reason that I...
What?
Oh, that's...
What is he doing? What? Okay, that one has sidestep, so I guess he couldn't blitz him out.
Yeah.
But that's the only one with diving tackle, because your 11 is the plus movement one, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
So all he really needed there was a push.
Pretty much, but at the same time, it doesn't... Since he already blew his blitz, he can't really blitz with the Storm Vermin and then try and dodge.
No, but the dodge out isn't horrible. I mean, it's a 3+. I assume he's going to run a gunner to the end zone and then try and dodge out and throw a pass at this point.
Seems like the move, though. Both the gunners are going to be dodging tackle zones. Not that it matters, but... This is the pretty standard look what a gunner can do move. I have to say, I don't think hexachord ends up eating a single...
Single what? Sorry, the Skype freaked out for a second there.
Yeah, can you still hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, he hasn't... I don't think he blows a single reroll on going for it this entire game, and he makes quite a few.
I hate going for it. They can all die in a fire. What is he waiting for? I'm confused. There he goes. What? He's going the wrong way.
And this confused me. I don't know if he was going to try and move his thrower up or go to the side, but it seems like the... You know, what is he getting out of this? He's getting pass?
Yeah, but like... that seems... I guess...
And I think maybe here, I think what he was going to do is he was going to push with this line rat, and then
I guess
rush
that
up the thrower.
technically put him in a better position, but 1 DB, no block, it's just poor form. Alright, well I guess that's the first half, and we'll get to the second here shortly.